What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. Look, after the events of the last week, I have a statement to make. There's not going to be any discussion. I won't be going to the comment section afterwards. You can take my words at face value, or you can just dismiss them at your discretion. But just know this, they're my words, and they're from my heart. My name is Enosh, and I'm a fun guy. I literally broadcast to you each week from a room full of toys. The last few days have been interesting, to say the least. I've been thrust into the middle of what some may call an epic struggle between fandoms. A struggle that exists inside the bubble of this medium we call YouTube. I've been accused of lying, misrepresentation, extending situations for clicks and views. And I've been told by certain individuals that I should apologize for the opinions that I have expressed and the stances that I have taken. And so today, after a lot of thought and prayer, I would like to end this back and forth rhetoric and address these issues once and for all. YouTube is an interesting place where controversy feels real. And the hype seems like it extends to far reaches of the world. YouTube makes every situation feel like it's 100 times bigger than it really is. On YouTube, a controversy or opinion can appear to include all of pop culture, yet really not affect anyone outside of the algorithm. Clout wars can last for years within this digital world, but outside in the real world, no one is even aware of the so-called celebrities or controversies that rack up views and clicks from the same pool of viewers. This false narrative of importance leaves a bad smell on all of us. A couple of months ago, I came across an energetic guy named Jody. Jody was full of opinions about pop culture, franchises, and properties that I too enjoy. And I take issue with some of them. He had differences of opinions than some of mine on these properties. And that's not an issue for me, as I welcome all opinions and always have. On my channel, the Poindexter Lounge, we allow all thoughts. We allow for all thoughts and fandoms. We encourage everyone to have their own opinions and not allow anyone to try to tell them how they should feel about what it is that each individual likes or dislikes. The channel does not exist as a means for me to force my opinions about a franchise on others. The Poindexter Lounge, which is a really great name, by the way, which my wife came up with, has always been and will continue to be a place where everyone can voice their opinions on pop culture, so long as they treat others in the lounge with respect. You see, simply, the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. All nerds. Even those that don't realize that they're nerds. See, I started this channel as a place where my family and I could come together with other nerds and talk about the things that we love. One of those things turns out to be DC-related properties. Superman has been an inspiration to me since I was a little kid. I didn't have my dad growing up, and I saw Superman as a hero. Not because of his superpowers, because he could bend steel and he could fly and he had heat vision, or any of the wonderful things that he could do. But because I saw Superman as what a man should be. See, Superman always took care of those around him and the ones that he loved. All someone had to do was yell his name, and he would swoop in and save the day. And to me, that's what a man should be. And I have tried to uphold those concepts and those values in my own life. And it is the only thing that I have tattooed on my body because this S means something. Yeah, it's a comic book thing. Yeah, it's a fictional character. But this symbol is known the worldwide. It is literally right up to, you could take this symbol into parts of the world that are scarcely populated. And along with the cross, this S shield is recognized for what it stands for hope, for truth and justice. When I found out that I was going to be a dad, I even bestowed the name of Jor-El as the middle name of my son, which is a callback to the Superman that Jody wants and loves as I do, to the father becoming the son and the son the father from Superman the movie. Superman has become a part of my life, and I'm thankful for those who have brought the character to life over the last 82 years. But see, recently when I came across Jody, I wasn't taken aback by his opinions. I have many close friends that I hang out with and love who share Jody's opinions. Opinions are always something that I feel should be celebrated and appreciated for what they are, because they are what makes us individuals. They make us human beings, and they bring the spice to life. They make it interesting. Iron sharpens iron, and that's a good thing. I embrace people who are different than me, whether physically, spiritually, in their background, and yes, especially in their fandoms. I've come a long way in the last couple of years myself, having lost close to 200 pounds and seeing my life change for the better. I'm a healthier person today, and I'm in a better place. So after topping out at 430 pounds, I understand the kind of insults that Jody talked about. But to label me as he did as one of those cultists, and I know this guy, his ugly face, that's not me. That is not me. I am a family man. I'm a man of faith. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. And least of all of these, I guess I'm a YouTuber. Jody expressed his own struggles, and sometimes hurting people hurt others. That is what I see, having been in my own life at times, and that's what I see in Jody and Andy Signore. They've both been through a lot. And for that, I am very sorry. And I have always offered my support for what they have shared as to their struggles. And that is not what this is about. I tried to reason with Andy even once over a live stream, in a live stream where there was a lot of yelling and a lot of shouting. And I think that Andy listened to me for a minute, but sometimes with the yelling and the shouting, things can degrade. And he dismissed my concerns as if I was just a former fan that was offended by him, because I was an Andy Signore fan. I watched Screen Junkies, man. I watched that stuff. It was good stuff. Right now, I will tell you right now, you need to subscribe to Andy's second channel, because Andy's second channel is awesome, where he is going over movies with his kids and showing them. That reminds me of why I started my channel and what we do here in the Poindexter Lounge, doing watch parties and sharing this with my kids. I started doing this stuff so that I could have something to look back on one day and be able to say, hey, I can pull up right now the night that we went to go see Batman v Superman and what we experienced, and the night that we went to go see Justice League, and the night that we went to go see The Force Awakens with my kids. And then Jody goes and shares UHF with his kids and talks about Weird Al Yankovic. Dude, that's what I love. That kind of stuff needs to be praised. That kind of stuff needs to be enjoyed and fostered. And that is the kind of content that needs to be recognized on YouTube and in our world. But I felt that he dismissed me as just a former fan that was offended by what, that he got a scoop wrong. I don't care about that. I never did. And most people that I talk to don't care about the missed scoop. That's not the issue. They both argue points that I never brought up. They literally did videos regarding the Snyder cult and talked about things that I'm not a part of and would never support. Jody is very vocal and passionate about some things like his choice of pornography or humor that I'm definitely not into. But you know what? I'm not offended by it either. And yeah, I'm a man of faith, but look, those are his choices. He's also passionate about such things as his likes and his dislikes regarding a series of movies that I love. And I would like to make perfectly clear, I do not, nor have I ever based my thoughts and statements regarding Jody on those likes or dislikes. There is a completely different reason for my opinions, and I would like to address that today. You see, we as DC fans have taken so much hate over the last few years for simply loving what we love, being told that DC sucks and DC is trash and you're stupid and dumb and an idiot. And much worse, like how you should perform horrible, disgusting acts on people because you love a character or a movie or a series involving those characters. And that's become commonplace in a world where people can hide behind their camera and they can hide behind their keyboard and act like the people that they address are not really fellow human beings. And we shouldn't have to endure these actions for simply being fans, but we do. And sometimes in great amounts, as people come to spam the chats of live streams and make it about them and their cult of personality. But a couple of months ago, a beautiful thing happened. For the first time in a long time, many DC fans who share a love for a particular version of these characters were finally validated in their fandom and reminded that they indeed matter. After having been ridiculed for over 3 years, after the debacle that was the situation regarding the Zack Snyder cut of the movie Justice League, we were finally going to see the original intention of Zack Snyder for that film realized. Many good people, more involved than me, much more involved than me, have worked to raise awareness for very important causes and to help others outside of simply just wanting to see a movie through that movement. Yet instead of being embraced, they themselves have been mocked. They've been ridiculed and now even called a cult. Yes, it's backtracked with no, I'm not saying that they're all the cult, but there are many times that those two words, the fandom and the cult, are used synonymously within the DC fandom for simply the fact that we didn't lay down to those who are vocal about the opposing opinions. And for some reason, Jody and Andy have chosen to take this stand against our fandom. I don't know why. Not just as opinion, but an active mocking, ridicule, taunting, spamming, and bullying. Throwing what looked like on-air parties to celebrate what they thought was the demise of the Snyder Cut. And see, here's the thing. The Snyder Cut is a thought. It's an idea, but it's people. Zach even said at JusticeCon this last Saturday that even at this point, if the movie never sees the light of day and it's thrown away and it never comes to fruition, what matters is the people behind the Snyder Cut. So when you attack the Snyder Cut or the cult that you think that they are, you're attacking people. Making t-shirts and attempting to shame and hush this group of people who are not a cult, but just love a different version of DC characters and want to see a man right it after being wronged. That is what I began to take a stand about. Not because someone wants Superman to act different and wear bright blue as opposed to dark, or whether Batman should take lethal action. Those are fictional characters and stories and subject to interpretation. Yes, it's fun to talk about, but the people who have been ridiculed and openly mocked are real human beings, and we must remember that. This is just not right from a human perspective. Jody and others who support his opinion should not feel threatened by the upcoming release of these versions of DC characters. They should encourage and support our fandoms, and we should encourage and support theirs. That's the beautiful thing about being a DC fan. It is a multiverse of characters and versions, with no one version being the right one. There exists everything from the bright and cheerful innocence of the Adam West and Burt Ward Batman and Robin to the innovative inspiration of the Christopher Reeve portrayal of Superman. Truly iconic. Then from the campy, cringy, soft spot that I have for my heart, even for Clooney's Batman and Robin, to the realistic grit of Batman Begins. And yes, even to the darker tones of the DCEU. There exists within DC, just like the Poindexter Lounge, a place for all nerds. But some do not share this thought or recognize this opportunity for unity. Instead, some have sought to portray the lovers of these more modern, realistic versions of comic characters as a cult of people centered upon one man. Like we cannot acknowledge that these movies, of course, have flaws, but are versions that we simply love and wish to support a man and a family that have suffered great loss, both personally and professionally. It is because of this that I have taken it upon myself in the last few weeks to utilize my small platform, and it's a small platform. We're just shy of 10,000 people, which in the greater scheme of YouTube is a small voice. But I've tried to use my platform on my YouTube channel to address and point out what I feel are hypocrisies of those who would shut off these voices and send them into the night, just so that their favorite version of these characters can be realized. And that is why I and other smaller channels along with me have come together and continue to talk about Jody and Andy. It's not our obsession with them. We're not starstruck. We're not trying to bring them down or cancel them. It's none of that. But it's because who else will speak for the fans if the fans don't speak for themselves? And who else will stand up for the fandom when being attacked if we fans simply don't say anything? And there's been a long, long time of nothing being said to counter this stuff. The funny thing in all of this is that there's room for all of it. There's not one that need take dominance over the other. We don't seek to destroy what you love. We simply ask not to be demeaned for what we love, or told how stupid we are for loving it, or to be told, F you if you support Zack Snyder. Well, Jody, I support Zack Snyder. And so, yes, when you say that, I take it, Jody, that you mean me, that you mean F me, that you're looking in your camera and you're looking at me and you're saying, F you, Enosh. You don't even know me. I don't know you. And you could say, well, why would you take that personally? It's YouTube. Because we know we're passionate about this stuff, man. This stuff means something to you and it means something to me. I shared my story about not having my dad. I don't know all the things that you've been through. I've heard a couple of things, but that's the first I heard of them yesterday. That's the very first that I've heard because I don't know you. But when you look at the camera and you say, F you if you want this, I look at somebody and I go, that upsets me. There are actual people you are addressing, not just thoughts or concepts in your head, and not just a camera. This all said, we've come to a situation involving Ray Fisher and his involvement in this fandom. And I cannot or never would assume that I speak for Ray, but I can voice my thoughts on the positions that he has shared over the last few weeks. Ray has begun to share information regarding his experiences in dealing with his professional career within these movies. There is much that we don't know yet. He has come under much scrutiny for voicing his truth on the treatment of himself and others while portraying the character of Cyborg. And we as fans have waited to hear all of the information, while some have sought to sensationalize these situations and to even attempt to force Ray's hand in revealing information before he is ready or even able to do so. Last week, a video was made, one of a string of videos, and released by Jody and Andy that, in my opinion, did not serve to withhold judgment or to provide a fair representation of Ray Fisher. During that broadcast, Ray had blocked these two individuals because of their continued use of his name and their, what I consider, obsession with thinking that they know what's going on in his mind. Sometimes you have to block out those who aren't interested in supporting you. And these two did not back off, though. They doubled down and attempted to use this as a way of showing that somehow they had gotten Ray's attention, going on in their video about how Ray was watching them, that they were part of it now, even though in reality, they never were. And Ray had actually extinguished all attempts for them to be in it through his action of ignoring them. But their video sought to force his hand, to make them part of a story by pushing Ray to come on their broadcast and talk to them on their terms, on their channel. And Ray simply didn't answer. As a fan myself and as a channel, people come here to talk about opinions, and I shared mine. I felt that this video that I watched was a childish and selfish display that had failed in its attempt to bring Ray down to its level. Ray is a man of passion and dignity. And regardless of what information he chooses to share in the future, it will be on his terms and not at the discretion and goading of two loud, cartoonish characters' demands. During my commentary of this video, I heard in the midst of a rant regarding Ray and them making fun of the way he was handling the situation, even insulting that somehow he was, shall we say, and I am paraphrasing here, maybe less manly in his approach. Through all of that, I heard what I felt at the time was a small section of the video in reference to Ray being called the now controversial gay Fisher. I know it is being said that they were talking about Kanye West, and Jody maintains that he said yay Fisher. But based on what I heard, I asked my viewers how that could be defended and tolerated in light of the other multiple videos and harassment Ray was receiving from these two. Look, it was a small moment and it was done. It was a small opinion by a small channel. I never claimed to be anything more, and I had no diabolical, cultish plan for said video or commentary. I mean, about a week passed from the time I made that video. Nobody commented. I mean, people commented on the video, but nobody brought up this huge issue about this controversy. Then after a week passed, I was alerted one day by my good buddy Ryan. And he messaged me via Twitter to the fact that Ray Fisher had also heard what I heard and felt strongly enough about it to share it on his social media. Now, what resulted has been a week of attacks on myself, but also a week of wonderful support, as others have come to Ray's defense and shown support as they too heard the same thing, which has resulted in a slew of videos by both Jody and Andy attacking Ray and attacking me. Yesterday, after baiting everyone with the idea that he had been wronged somehow and trying to turn it into a story once again about them instead of Ray, he made a video telling everyone that he was going to leave YouTube. But instead, and we knew that this was coming, he made his opinions of me known. And instead of having a professional attitude or even correcting me in a way that displayed his innocence or his insistence that he wouldn't use that kind of wording that started the whole controversy to begin with, he decided to insult me using more homoerotic wording, insinuating that I and others should perform certain sexual acts upon himself. This was his defense. This was literally his defense for claiming to not have made a homophobic slur about someone else in Ray Fisher. I had made a video the night before in which I explained with a panel how we never sought to cancel Jody. Much the opposite, in fact. We want to see people just do better and respect others. Yet, it can get heated at times. And I admit that. And opinions can rise to the surface. But we can't have that discussion in a professional manner. But can't we have that discussion in a professional manner instead of using demeaning and degrading so-called humor? Halfway through my live stream, people began giving super chats and donating money to my channel. It was at this time that Jody announced that he was supposedly leaving YouTube. If you watch our reaction live, it is not one of joy. It is not one of celebration or winning, as they portrayed about the possibility of losing the Snyder Cut. It is really of concern for Jody and others. It was at that time that I decided that I did not wish to keep any of the money donated in that stream. And before anyone could give any more, it just didn't feel right to me. So I decided to announce that I was going to give any donations received that night, anything that people felt strongly that they appreciated what we were saying and wanted to give to the channel that night. I gave to that we were going to give it to the American Association for Suicide Prevention in honor of Zack Snyder's family. That night, we received shy of $50. It wasn't a lot, but it was something. And since then, I've added at least that much, and today we have given $100 to the AFSP. That has been done. And here's the receipt. Over a month ago, Jody had said that he would share the receipt of funds supposedly donated from the Snyder Cult t-shirts, I should say, to the same charity. As of this video, we still have yet to see that. Yet some who have watched our video made their own videos. And of course, they turned off the comment section in their videos and blocked lines of communications to discuss what we did and attacked even this positive deed. My comment section is not turned off. Never is. I don't block people. I don't shut people out. Unless you're spamming and we just need to make room for people to actually be able to have conversations, I can take the heat. I'm not soft. The reality is that we could literally go back and forth in a nonsensical merry-go-round of accusations and insults and insinuations. And I just don't wish to continue doing that. Unlike Jody, I am not going to talk about my body parts and crude sexual innuendo and flat-out vulgar implications and talk that could be regarded as sexual bullying in an attempt to intimidate others. Those kinds of actions are unfortunate, and they take away from the actual issues and discussions at hand. And also, they devalue the credibility of the person devolving to that level. It is a kind of speech that has resulted in controversy in the first place, and I fail to see how continuing to double down on that kind of speech somehow absolves you of guilt. That being said, I wish to say the following. I did not plan some underhanded situation regarding my commentary video. I didn't make up what I heard and still hear when listening to the controversial gay versus yay audio. And there is much evidence to support this individual idea. YouTube's own captioning system clearly picks up the word gay on the second and third time. For those who question this technology, I have clearly showed the conversation before in videos, and I clearly showed the conversation happening before the word is said and after the word has said. And it can be seen that even my own nervous stammering in the conversation registered. You can see as the technology shows me saying, hey, and the rest of the voice recording is depicted correctly. I can see no reason why one word would be misconstrued when the rest is correct. I believe that the first time something is said, it could be yay. I've listened to it over and over again now. Trust me, people have sent it to me slowed down and sped up and over again. Maybe I should listen to it backwards. It could be yay. That first one could be yay. It sounds like yay. And I believe actually that it's yay. And some have pointed to Andy Signor's slowed down recording of the audio of only the first word slowed down. I believe that this is disingenuous, as the second and third time the G is clearly heard. Yet that is not part of the evidence that Andy presented, and it has been strangely omitted. As for the connection to Kanye, and that being the reason given for the word yay, it is my personal opinion, and I stress this, my personal opinion, and I believe in much the same way as Jody used a Family Guy reference for his Mexican Superman rant when discussing Tyler Hoechlin, who I will also mention, Jody, I don't care for Tyler Hoechlin. I'm very interested to see his show coming up because I'll be honest with you, I think that they have mishandled Superman on the CW. That's my personal opinion. I do not bow at everything that happens. But in all of my discussion on the channel about Tyler Hoechlin, it wasn't like yours. And I understand you're a different channel than mine, obviously, but I believe that this new issue relates to that because your Mexican Superman controversy discussing Tyler Hoechlin's ethnicity, where he's not even Mexican, and depiction of Superman on the CW, which also resulted in controversy over sexually insultive and vulgar insinuations of acts performed on the actor as well as racial stereotypes. I believe we're seeing a similar situation here. Because you see, an episode of the show South Park depicts a joke in which Kanye West is asked if he likes fish sticks. When answered yes, the result is to then ask Kanye, "What are you, a gay fish?" He literally spends the entire episode asking and trying to figure out why people are calling him a gay fish. Now, that could be a coincidence, but it would be a very close one. All things considered, all people considered. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, there is a pause after the initial possible yay comment as a joke is contemplated. This is purely my speculation on the subject. I understand jokes. Jokes are jokes. Look, I even laughed at the Kanye West episode. I don't subscribe to cancel culture's depiction of every little thing being reason to get rid of someone. I can't stand cancel culture. I have literally sat back and laughed this week as I have been deemed part of something that I am not a part of and feel the exact opposite. And I wouldn't want that for Jody. I also grew up in the late 70s and 80s and 90s where certain terms were acceptable. And they're not acceptable now. And that sometimes is hard to get used to. And yes, even now, some things can still be considered funny, but context is everything. Telling a joke is one thing. People laugh at jokes. People can laugh at dirty jokes. People love a good roast. I mean, my 40th birthday party, my wife got through a roast for me, and it was awesome. But using a sexual assaultive statement against someone when discussing how you feel about them is something else. The same thing was done in great detail to me yesterday as I was insulted and demeaned by Jody's statements. But I'm not soft, as insinuated. I simply have a sense of reason and concern for my fellow human beings and do not wish to hurt them, even though I have the right to my personal beliefs on certain social and political topics. Dude, I'm a Last Jedi lover. I've heard everything under the sun, and I've taken flack for a lot worse. I am not soft. And yes, we have every right to speak our minds, and thank God for freedom of speech. And Jody, I would fight for your right to be able to say whatever you want to say. To be as dirty and as funny in your way of thinking that you want to be, because I am not soft. Nor will I melt away because of some dirty language. Every time I follow somebody on Twitter that knows about my personal beliefs and they send me a message and say, hey, you might see some stuff on my thing. I don't care. I look at people. Some language, that's not going to send me somewhere else. Many have given their lives in defense of that very right. And what we do not have, though, is freedom of consequence from our words or freedom from opinion regarding our words. You have spoken your mind, yet insulted me viciously because I just stated my opinion and voiced my mind. Look, I don't know how Ray heard my video. I didn't send it to him via any means. I just uploaded it to YouTube and shared it to my personal social media. I was just as shocked as anyone else when Ray released the tweet. If the man you're talking about, though, heard it and felt strongly enough to share it with the world on his much larger platform, it validates my opinion that at the very least, it isn't frivolous, but it's half of a possible discussion. Enough other people from all backgrounds, races, and creeds have made their own conclusions on both sides. So you can be mad at me, but I'm not just some hearing impaired idiot. My ears are really good, actually, even for being a musician my whole life. And I don't need better equipment. I mean, I could use some better equipment. Don't get me wrong. I'll always use some better equipment. But I'm not alone in my opinion. And that is all. Look, man, Jody, I wish that you would have just simply and calmly stated your truth in a non-assaulting way. Honestly, when you started your video yesterday, that is what I thought you were going to do. You came out, you're just like, hey, this is me. This is who I am. And I thought, man, this is good. This is good. But that's not where it went. I don't know where it went, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what half of what you shared. I don't know how it relates with any of this. And I want to make clear that no, I never admitted to Andy in a DM that I did this for clout or clicks. That's a direct lie. I didn't make this up for that. I have publicly shared that DM, and it is not in any way stated as he defines it. I was actually making fun of the fact that you guys were calling out Ray saying, hey, he's watching us. He's watching us. That's all that counts, guys. We got him to watch us. So we know that he's watching now. We know that they got their attention. And that is what my comment said. I guess that's all that matters, according to you, is that you're watching because you paid attention to something I said. With that, I don't wish to continue this argument of I talk and then you talk videos with no end in sight. That's exhausting. The people who love you, Jody, are still going to love you, and they've told me so. Believe me. The people who agree with my point of view have done the same, and I thank them for it. They weren't in your corner to begin with. I doubt anyone who supports you has defected to my side, if I have a side. However, there are level-headed people who I know that support us both, actually. People on my channel who've reached out to me, who've sent me DMs, who've said, hey, this is what I think of Jody. I like you guys both. Can you please just stop, both of you? And they wish for this to end. So after much thought and your request for an apology, I'd like to offer the following. Jody, I'm sorry that you don't understand that by portraying a constant behavior, it takes away from your credibility. It takes away from your credibility in defending yourself against the idea that you exhibit those types of behavior. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that there are people who won't give you the benefit of the doubt because of your exercising of your freedom of speech, which you're entitled to, but in doing so have set precedent for your thoughts and behaviors. Jody, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you don't like the same kinds of DC materials that I do, but it wouldn't keep me from being your friend. Jody, I'm genuinely sorry that people have been vile towards you. There's no excuse for that type of behavior. When you guys got a super chat the other day that said that I should go kill myself, and Andy said, no, we don't want that. No, nobody should do that. Nobody should react that way. But then said that he had come on streams that we had been a part of where people had said that and we hadn't put them in their place. That's not true. It's just not true. I don't know why. I don't know if it's to being caught up in the moment and just trying to look like you're right. But Andy, you know that's not true. Look, there's some characters, man, in that group. Okay. And sometimes we're around people that are associated with people that have done things in their lives, and we can't help all that. We're all individuals. But ain't nobody sitting out here okaying this vile kind of action towards each other. I mean, I would hope that you would tell the person who messaged me and said that they better not ever see me out anywhere because they would beat the living S out of me. I would hope that you would not encourage that behavior, because I would never encourage that kind of behavior to you. And I am sorry if people have acted that way towards you, because that is not the intention, and that is not part of what this movement, of what these fans are about. And my heart goes out to you regarding the loss of your daughter and your dog. Although I've never lost a child, thank God, I can't imagine the pain of that. I love my boys with all of my heart. I got 2 stepsons and a son that's mine, and they're all mine. And I love those boys more than anything. And I'm excited that they love DC characters the way that I love DC characters. I'm excited that they love pop culture the way that I love pop culture. And it would kill me inside if anything ever happened to them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I have lost a pet, and that is something I can relate to. And I'd hate for anyone to experience those traumas. And I want you to know from my heart, I honestly pray for you. I'm sorry, Jody, that when I listen to that audio, I hear the word gay. I'm sorry. It's what I hear. But I can't deny what I and others hear. If you didn't say it, that'd be fine. But you came out so vicious. And I understand that it's that you took it to be this personal accusation or whatever, but you just make a statement. You just come calmly to people. When there's this overreaction and then the insults on top of that, it makes you look guilty, even if you aren't. I simply stated what I heard. That is my truth and my freedom of speech, which will result in some disagreeing with me and has resulted in many taking it out on me in negative ways, even threatening me physically. But I'm not soft. And I will continue to move forward. Jody, I'm really sorry for the confusing statement you made yesterday. It seemed more emotional than thought out. Jody, I'm sorry that the way you and Andy drone on and show up in my YouTube feed, because I deal in the same space as you, although on a smaller level, that it stirs something inside of me to speak my mind about it. And although I'm sorry that it does that to me, I don't apologize for my opinion and for speaking the truth. Jody, I'm sorry that you are so upset that I received the attention you wanted from Ray Fisher. But I am very blessed that an amazing man, actor, and activist recognized something that I did and believed in it enough to share. Ray is amazing. #BoredLife. Jody, I am sorry that you are so involved with concern over my little channel. I don't see myself as this significant pundit, but I do thank you, as there are many who have now discovered me because of your concern. Jody, I'm sorry that you blocked me and that Andy blocked me from the beginning for having a differing opinion than you. That stops dialogue. My door is always open. Jody, I am sorry that as my channel grows, that we may never see the amazingness of a Jody's Corner Poindexter Lounge collab. That could have been brought as we're both huge DC fans. It would have been epic. But that is not because of my unwillingness. Jody, I'm sorry that you do not like the name of my channel. My wife named it, and I think it's pretty cool. And so do a lot of others. And it seems to ring off the tongue, doesn't it? I'm sorry that you think calling me a nerd is an insult. You see, I am a nerd. This is why the channel is called Poindexter Lounge. A place for nerds. And no, this isn't a basement. My whole house is like this. And I don't even have a basement. I am sorry that you don't value me enough as a person that you would use the really horrible language you did about me and others. Jody, I'm sorry that my esophagus is off limits to you. Jody, I'm sorry that you used the term esophagus, as my mother died of esophageal cancer after years of mental issues and drug abuse. And hearing you say that brought back that memory. And Jody, I'm sorry that I just said that now, to show that we all have tragedy in our life, but that it doesn't excuse us from commentary about the actions that we take. We are still responsible for what we do, regardless of what has happened to us. I'm sorry that you have to ask yourself why it is there are so many that don't just believe you based on your word alone, and what kind of credibility you have built with your potential audience or those who have seen your content. Jody, I am deeply sorry that you feel that we, as associate producers of Zack Snyder's Justice League, are a Snyder cult. I am not sorry that we are getting Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max in 2021, starring Ray Fisher as Cyborg. Hashtag Borg Life. And you better believe if Ray Fisher watches this, my Cyborg action figures mean a whole lot more to me now than they ever did. Jody, I'm sorry that you haven't chosen to wait until all the information comes out regarding Ray and his current situation. I'm sorry that if you choose not to let go of this and just move on, how it's going to play out. I'm not a threat to you, bro. You do your thing that your people like, and I'll do mine. And I guess finally, I'm really sorry that you don't appreciate Larry Bird. I mean, I grew up as a Detroit Pistons fan, Bad Boys for Life. But as a basketball fan, man, Larry's contribution to the sport can't be denied. Larry's been a basketball player, coach, and executive in the NBA, nicknamed the Hick from French Lick. Bird is widely regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Drafted into the NBA by the Boston Celtics with the 6th overall pick in the 1978 NBA draft, Bird started at small forward and power forward for the Celtics for 13 seasons. Bird was a 12-time NBA All-Star and received the NBA Most Valuable Player Award 3 consecutive times from 1984 to 1986. He played his entire professional career for Boston, winning 3 NBA championships and 2 NBA Finals MVP awards. Bird was also a member of the gold medal winning 1992 United States men's Olympic basketball team known as the Dream Team. He was voted to the NBA's 50th anniversary all-time team in 1996. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1998 and was inducted into the Hall of Fame again in 2010 as a member of the Dream Team. He was rated the greatest NBA small forward of all time by Fox Sports in 2016. Bird was also ranked as the greatest Boston Celtics player of all time by MSN Sports in 2018. After retiring as a player, Bird served as head coach of the Indiana Pacers from 1997 to 2000. He was named NBA Coach of the Year for the 1997-1998 season and later led the Pacers to a berth in the 2000 NBA Finals. In 2013, Bird was named President of Basketball Operations for the Pacers, holding the position until retiring in 2012. He was named NBA Executive of the Year for the 2012 season. Bird returned to the Pacers as President of Basketball Operations in 2013 and remained in that role until 2017. And as of 2020, as of right now, Bird is the only person in NBA history to be named Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, NBA Finals MVP, All-Star MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year. I'm not sure what you don't like about him, but I'm proud that you would relate me to him. And I can only assume that if you think of me and him together, that although you and I have our differences of opinions and humor, apparently, you must see something great in me. Thank you. I hope that others that find my channel, maybe you're here for the first time, I hope that you see that too. And that no matter what, that you never let anyone tell you that your fandom is stupid or dumb or unimportant, or that you just go away because something just isn't going to happen. like hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Zack may not be God, but he is a great storyteller, and I look forward to seeing his vision realized with Ray Fisher as the heart of that story. So I'm going to get back to making great content for my subscribers, because I love my subscribers. We call them our nerd family, and I mean that. So if this is your first time to the channel, whether you came here loving me, whether you came here hating me, whether you're just wondering what this is all about, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button and that notifications bell, because that's what YouTubers say. But not just that. I like having conversations. I like having friends, even if they have differing opinions. That's what keeps them coming back. That's what keeps me coming back to doing YouTube, to sitting in front of a camera and talking about stuff. That's why my family gets in front of a camera and reacts to a movie trailer. That's why we do a watch party for different shows and different things. I don't have to set up a camera. I don't have to do all this. But I truly dig the people that have been around, and I've made some great friends in the process. And that's what I'm here for. I hope that's what you're there for too. Always remember, accountability is greater than entertainment. Till next time, my name is Enosh, and I leave you with the words of the great Larry Bird.
Over the Grand Canyon, off your face, through the window, off the floor, nothing but net.
Josh,
Yes, sir.
go in that other studio there if you would. There's a big mic. Whatever big mics you see in there, just grab bring them over here.
Whatever big lights you see in there.
Just big ones.
Hear the cries of broken lives, searching for their salvation. They won't know unless they're told. Somebody's got to be a hero. We can lead them to the truth, something more than me and you. Those who need to be rescued, we can all be heroes. We can show them all the way, pick them up and save the day, shine a light into the gray. We can all be heroes. When hope is gone, you lose your song, waiting for a revelation. Not exposed, but love that shows. Want somebody, please just be a hero. We can lead them to the truth, something more than me and you. Those who need to be rescued, we can all be heroes. We can show them all the way, pick them up and save the day, shine a light into the gray. We can all be heroes. Some say this world doesn't need a savior, but the voices cry out every day. It's time to crank it up and push a little further, 'cause there is only one way we are saved. We can lead them to the truth, something more than me and you. Those who need to be rescued, we can all be heroes. We can show them all the way, pick them up and save the day, shine a light into the gray. We can lead them to the truth, something more than me and you. Those who need to be rescued, we can all be heroes. We can show them all the way, pick them up and save the day, shine a light into the gray. We can all be heroes. We can lead them to the truth, something more than me and you. Those who need to be rescued, we can all be heroes. We can show them all the way, pick them up and save the day, shine a light into the gray. We can all be heroes.
Ritz Crispin Thins. Level up the flavor.
Away!
Sometimes I'm shy, I don't know what to say. Other times I'm bold, and you can make me go away. I'm never the same, I'm changing every day. But if you back me in the corner, I'll say I've had enough. Try to knock me on the ground, well, I'm getting right back up. I'm who I am today, all because somebody loves me. And that somebody is you. Nobody loves me like you do. You're my family, it's true. And I want you to know I love you too. When I see you down, I try to pick you up. I got your back in a fight, so don't give in when it gets tough. We're in this together, never alone. And it's so good to know when the bottom falls out, the path is not so clear, so we go another route. I find my way, all because somebody shows me. And that somebody is you. Nobody loves me like you do. You're my family, it's true. And I want you to know I love you too. I'll never give up because I have you. 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 And that somebody is you. Nobody loves me like you do. You're my family, it's true. And I want you to know that somebody is you. Nobody loves me like you do. You're my family, it's true. And I want you to know I love you too. I don't think the kind of thoughts you think. I don't speak the kind of words you say. My mind refuses to be conformed. Yeah. You got reason to be alarmed. I'm a freak, it's my nature, I don't have to debate it, 'cause my mind is caught up in the hell on me. I'm a freak, it's my function, bring my flesh to destruction. A spiritual life now on me. I just don't fit in, I'm a freak. I'm not dead to the world I'm in. My spirit fights to shed my sinful skin. Just what is normal, I disagree. Yeah, those rules don't apply to me. I'm a freak, it's my nature, I don't have to debate you, 'cause my mind is caught up in the heavenly. I'm a freak, it's my function, bring my flesh to destruction. My spiritual life now on me. I just don't be in, I love freaky. I'm a freak. 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 1, 2, 3. I'm a freak. It's my nature. I don't have to debate you, 'cause my mind is caught up in the heavenly. I'm a freak. It's my function. Bring my flesh to destruction. A spiritual life now on me. I'm a freak. It's my nature. I don't have to debate you, 'cause my mind is caught up in the heavenly. I'm a freak, it's my function, bring my flesh to destruction. A spiritual life now on me. I just don't fit in, I'm a freak. I pray that that works.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. What's your deal? Oh, me?
You.
Oh, no, you.
Not your problem, your pain. Whatever.
No, I didn't. Oh, you're going down. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know where we're going, but.
I've had enough of your crap. You're going down. You're seriously going down. I am taking you. You are going down.
Jerk, I've had it with you. You know what? You are.
You are.
You are. No, I know you are. What am I? I know you are. What am I?
I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel. It looks just like a freight train. I set the sky on fire. Yeah. And I've been burned by the flames. Now I'm going straight on, not putting the brakes on. And nothing's gonna slow me down. You know I'm going straight on, nothing more to wait on. And I will stand by the bounds. And if you're not gonna help me out, get out of my way. I thought it was true love calling. I held it in my arms and I kissed it. It hurt so bad when falling. Yeah. I hate to say, but I think I missed it. But now I'm going straight on, not putting the brakes on. And nothing's gonna slow me down. You know I'm going straight on, nothing more to wait on. And I will step out of bounds. And if you're not gonna help me out, get out of my way. I have a divine coming, and I won't put it off now. And I see no point in stalling, yeah. When time runs out and slips away, what did you do with the one you've been given today? I'm going straight on. I'm going straight on. I'm going straight on, not putting the brakes on. And nothing's gonna slow me down. You know I'm going straight on, nothing more to wait on. And I will stand by the bounds. You know I'm going straight on, not putting the brakes on. And nothing's gonna slow me down. You know I'm going straight on, nothing more to wait on. you're not gonna help me out, get out of my way. Yeah. If you're not gonna help me out, get out of my way. Well, today you might be bad and tomorrow's looking like it gets worse.
But give us a while, we'll make you smile so much it hurts.
Life's not always fair, but I know the times are coming our way.
No time to dwell on the past, the future's coming back, why don't you stay? Get ready, yeah. Get set. Hold on.
Wake up the neighbors, you ain't heard nothing yet. Just sing along and wave your hands, there's nothing wrong.
If you start to dance, we don't stop until the job is done.
And it's full-time work, having so much fun. Well, we're knocking on the door, wondering if you can come out and play.
Well, we got plenty of toys ready to make some noise and rock it all day.
I can't hold it in, sometimes I feel like I'm gonna shout.
Oh, but we're keeping it clean, WWE's on the scene, no doubt. So get ready, yeah. Get set. Hold on.
We'll show you something that you'll never forget. Just sing along and wave your hands, there's nothing wrong.
If you start
To dance, 'cause we don't stop until the job is done. And it's full-time work, having so much fun.
get ready, yeah. Get set. Hold on. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just sing along and wave your hands, there's nothing wrong.
If you
Start to dance, 'cause we don't stop until the job is done. And it's full-time work, having so much fun. Just sing along and wave your hands, there's nothing wrong.
If you start
To dance, 'cause we don't stop until the job is done. And it's full-time work, having so much fun.
You're not a dish. You're a man. Most name brand bars and body washes you rub on your skin are classified by the FDA as synthetic detergent. It's not even real soap. Stop marinating your man meat in unholy ingredients that are harmful to your well-being